Hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I realize Coach Shrewsberry is our rookie and a true freshman, but I feel like a redshirt freshman today because this is my first media day in person, and it has not disappointed. So I'd like to thank Commissioner Warren and the Big Ten office for making this day possible. And thank you to the media. Thank you for covering our amazing conference, coaches, and young women. I want to take a minute to reflect on last year. Obviously, it was an incredibly difficult year for all of us. The level of appreciation that we have for everyone who made the season a reality can't really be put into words. The sacrifices and the efforts to be able to have our young ladies and young men have a season was incredible. And not only for last year, but for this year. I feel blessed to work in a conference with so many amazing coaches and players, and to be a part of a league that believes that diversity, equity, and inclusion matter. To coach at a university and have an athletic department that strives to make the world a better place is inspiring. We're not where we need to be yet, but the momentum that the Big Ten is bringing towards our coalition and that Penn State is having is encouraging. And I'm excited about the areas we're making improvements in. I've been at Penn State now for 2 years, and we've been laying the foundation, brick by brick, building a culture, creating habits, and a line mentality that we are hoping lasts for a long time. I'm very thrilled on where our program is and where we're headed. We've made huge strides. We've increased our offensive areas in almost every category. We were the youngest team in the Big Ten last year, and with majority of the league returning, I don't know if that's going to continue. But in all seriousness, I love our team. I love our staff. They love each other. They're buying into our mission, our vision, and our core principles that it's going to take to be able to compete at the top of this league. We have McKenna Marisa returning to us, who was an all-conference performer. Maddie Burke, who was the consensus Big Ten Sixth Woman of the Year. And Kelly Jaycott, who was our leading scorer before she went down with injury, is returning to us as well. In addition, we have two phenomenal leaders in Anna Camden and Shay Higgins, who had a great offseason that I'm excited for you all to see their improvements in. So overall, I'm really thrilled with the momentum that we have, excited to be a part of the best conference in America, and excited to take questions from you all. We are.
We'll now open questions for Coach. Back row.
Carolyn, Steven Streaming, XL Sports, Indiana Sports Network. Carolyn, you've made improvement from your first year to your second year already. I mean, last year you won, 5 or 6 more games in the first year. You won 6 games in the conference last year. How do you think that's going to relate to this year with the Big Ten women being as loaded as it is?
Great question, Stephen. I think for us, we judge our success every day by how much better we're getting as individuals and as a program. And I'm very proud of the level that we've improved at. But obviously, as coaches and as a program that strives to compete not only for Big Ten championships, but national championships, we want to win. And we want to win at a high level. And so for us, our players are bought into that. And I'm hoping that the lessons that we learned in year 1 and 2 are going to translate over. Now, obviously, the Big Ten is better than it ever has been with amazing coaches and players. We're going to do our best every night to come out there and improve and put a product out there that can compete.
Second row here, Molly.
Hi, Coach. Ryan from Greater Than the Game. You spoke before about habits. What kind of habits are you trying to build a winning atmosphere?
Well, Ryan, I think we start with a championship mindset and a lion mentality where we're trying to attack everything we do at 100%. And that's in the classroom, in the community, as teammates, as young women, and then finally players. We've spent a lot of time the past 2 years talking about work ethic, what it means to compete against Maryland, against Iowa, against Michigan, in order to put ourselves in a position to make the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we knew coming in we weren't going to snap our fingers and have success overnight, and we wanted to do it the right way. But as a coach, your job is to create habits that last for a lifetime, not just for 4 years. And I'm really proud of our young women, and they're holding each other accountable at a different level. And our goal is to take it from coach-led to player-led, coach-fed and player-led, and I think we've made incredible strides in that area.
We have time for one more question. Dallas, right next to you.
Sorry. Carolyn, getting Kelly back and having her healthy this season, how much will having both a player and a presence like that on the court do for your team this year?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, our team's inspired. They're inspired by her coming back with the notion that she has one mission, and that's to leave the jersey in a better place. And she focuses on her teammates, and she came back for them. She came back for the name on the front of the jersey, and I think that's rare to have a leader that inspires not only by what they say, but by their actions and by coming back. And Kelly's got a phenomenal IQ, and she does a great job helping the underclassmen, and I think it's going to give us a level of experience. She's played in the NCAA tournament. She knows what it takes to get there, and she can be a great leader for us.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you all. Stay safe.
Turning over to the men, you might remember Pat Chambers stepped down for the Nittany Lion basketball team at the beginning of last season. Jim Ferry was the interim head coach all season. It was a tough year for them, 10th place in conference play. This year it's going to be a different team, and it's a different coach. Micah Shrewsberry is in charge. He was an assistant for Matt Painter and Brad Stevens, among others. Here's the commissioner, Kevin Warren, to introduce for the first time the Penn State men's coach.
Our next coach to the podium will be the new head basketball coach at Penn State University, who is an absolutely dynamic young coach. He spent time at Purdue. He spent time actually here at Butler University in Indianapolis. He's a hard worker, great technician, great recruiter, and he'll build a great program at Penn State. So welcome to the podium, head coach Micah Shrewsberry.
Thank you, Commissioner Warren. Thank you for welcoming me to the league, and thank you for what you're doing for our league. Also, thank the media for coming out today, being able to be here in front of you and being able to have you guys back out. I know it's been a long time, but we're starting to get back to normal, and it feels like normal again. And also thank you to the other coaches who've been welcoming me, as I'm getting started in this league and answering questions and sending out thank yous. And it's almost like, hey, I don't really need it now. Like, I'd love for them to be more welcoming in like January and February, but we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to be here. Like, I'm honored to stand here before you as the head coach at Penn State University, and I'm honored to represent our great university. But I'm also honored to be a head coach in the Big Ten. And as an Indiana kid, like, this is my home. Indianapolis is my home, and to be able to stand here in front of you and represent Penn State University is a proud moment for me. I'm excited about our team, right? There's no outside expectations that I really care about except for the expectations that I put on myself and the expectations that we have in our locker room. So just like everybody else that's come up here and everybody else in college basketball, everybody in college basketball is old, right? There's a lot of guys that have come back. There's a lot of players that have played a bunch of games, and they're back in college basketball. And I can say with the fact that we're one of the oldest. I believe we're the third oldest team in the country. We have 7 seniors this year, with 4 of those being senior pluses. And then we have, 2 juniors outside of that. So to have your top 9 guys be juniors and seniors, like, that's something that you can build off of. I was thrilled when I got here to have a guy, like a Miles Dredd, tell me that he's coming back and tell me he's staying. A guy like a Sam Sessoms to tell me that he's staying. And then to get the fortunate opportunity to get John Hare and coach him. and have him back and be a part of our team, get Seth Lundy back and be a part of our team, like that's thrilling for me as a first-year head coach, because I have a building block of guys that have been in the Big Ten, guys that have played in these arenas, and not necessarily empty. They've played in the full arenas, and they know what it's like to win in this league. They know what it takes to win in this league. And then we added some talented newcomers. We have some good players in our mix that we have, and I'm excited about the talent that we have. Jalen Pickett is a really good guard that transferred from Siena. He's going to be able to help us tremendously. Greg Lee is a transfer from Western Michigan who's also a senior plus, and he's a guy that's going to match the energy that John Hare brings every single night. And when you start putting guys together like that, older guys that have played basketball, you have an opportunity, to play the right way. You have an opportunity to have guys that aren't scared to go into different venues. They've played a lot of college basketball. They also know what winning basketball looks like. So I'll open it up to any questions.
Here, second row.
Mike DeCourcy from Sporting News. Coaches who become head coaches after being assistants for a long time, and you were with some great coaches. Talk about the challenge, the shock of moving across like 12 inches on the bench. What's been the most surprising thing to you? Obviously, you haven't played any games yet, but what's been the most surprising thing to you about becoming a head coach and having that responsibility?
Yeah, good question, Mike. Really everything right away. Right? You go with this plan as an assistant coach, and you go to all of these strategy sessions, and you write down what you're going to do as a head coach. This is what 30 days is going to look like. This is what 60 days is going to look like. And I took the job, and there's no manual. I'm flipping through the pages. There's no manual for the transfer portal. There's no manual for COVID, and you're trying to navigate all of that. Like I said, I've had the opportunity to work for some really good coaches, and like Division III coaches, Division II, and obviously Brad Stevens and Matt Painter are two of the best. And I've said it before. I called Coach Painter like 5 straight days, and he picked up every single time. Right? To have a guy like that be able to be there for you, to answer questions, to help you along the way, has been tremendous, and like as good of a person as it gets. To be able to have him in your own league answer questions like that. So everything that comes at you at one time is a tough challenge, is a tough transition. But I'm learning each and every day. I'm learning with these guys back here what practice looks like. And I change practice in the middle of practice based on how they feel. So, the best advice Brad and Coach Painter have given me is just be yourself, and you'll do great.
In the back row.
Micah, touching off that a little bit, coming over from Purdue and seeing your guys previously as someone who was coaching against them, how have they met or exceeded your expectations now that you're the one coaching them?
It's helped me, like to be in this league, to see these guys, to prepare for them. It's really helped, and I have a frame of reference to talk to them about, because I've seen them. I've seen their stats. I've studied them. I've tried to game plan against them. So it's helped me. But you do have to get up close and personal to see what it really is. And like having the summer to work with these guys to see what they can do. And now we build off of that here in the fall. And we're trying to get as a cohesive team as possible right now. Right, we have a lot of new guys from a lot of different areas. So even though we're experienced, everybody's a freshman because they're playing for me for the first time. And how we do things could be completely different. If you've played 5 years of college basketball, I can be teaching you something in a completely different way. But to see how they're learning, to see how they're picking it up, I keep pointing to John because he's there, but like the progress that he's made in the time that I've been there, and we've been able to be on the court together. Like you're starting to see it. That's growth for me every single day. That gives me encouragement every day that what we're teaching is getting through. And now you take the blueprint of winning basketball, how you win in the Big Ten, like being in the Big Ten. I understand what it takes to win in this league. Now you take that blueprint and you bring it over here to these guys. and add. They've played extremely hard, right? Hats off to the coaches that were there before me. They played hard every single night, and they gave themselves a chance every single night. Now let's do it with more discipline. Let's do it in a different way. And then let's go out here and let's fight and let's compete every night.
We have time for one more question. Right behind in the back row, Molly.
Hey, Micah. Steven Strimming, XL Sports, Indiana Sports Network. We've all been in Mackey Arena. We know what that's like. Have you given it any thought yet about walking back into Mackey and seeing Matt Painter on the other side of the can't think of the word I'm looking for, but on the other side of the court?
Yeah, that was one of, you have these small moments as a head coach, like you remember the first time things happen, and I had that small moment when the schedule came out, and it was like, hey, you only got to play Purdue once, and you don't have to go there. I was thrilled. I was actually really thrilled for Grady Eifert, who's on our staff with me, because we have knowledgeable fans. At Purdue there were knowledgeable fans, and they're going to cheer, and it's as tough as environment as possible. But I was like, Grady, I can't wait for that paint crew to turn on you and just give you everything they got. So I don't have to think about it right now because I got a full year before I do have to go there. But like being on this, being on the same sideline and going against Coach Painter this year will I don't know if it'll be a fun experience. It'll be an experience. I know I better bring my best because I've been with him. I've seen him prepare, and I know how hard that team's going to play. And we're going to compete with the same spirit, and we're going to get after people this year. And I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you. We are.